So it's been a little while since we released a box card, and today we have our Flying High box card that coordinates with our beautiful balloon from our latest bundle. And we're going to put that together. So I kind of laid things out ahead of time just so that I know where they go, because again, this is my first time putting this project together. So it's a lot of paper piecing. That's what we're going to start with, and then once that's all done, we'll assemble the actual box card itself. So this here is the, well, it's the first little section of our box card. So we're going to put that together first. So you're going to want to find this piece here, and you want to go ahead and fold, you want to fold this panel, or fold these score marks towards you. This is going to be our first little insert. And we're going to begin by putting this little piece in place. So let's get our glue going here. Just go easy on the glue. All these pieces are fairly small, so we don't need to overdo it with the glue. And you simply want to lay this one down so that it fits the contour of this little shape here, this balloon shape. Give it a little nudge where necessary, just to make sure that you've got it nice and centered. Okay, and we're going to take this little purple piece and we're going to put that in place using the little oval cutout on the previous layer as our guide. Let's get our glue on there. So this card will be great. The little caption in the front says hi. So if you know someone that just needs a little pick-me-up, you want to say hello, or you could use it as a little thank you card or even a birthday card by changing out the caption. It's a pretty versatile little piece. Okay, so that purple piece goes right there. And then we're going to take this little turquoise piece, and that's going to go right up at the top. And then we're just going to throw one little red piece on top of that to finish it off. And you can see how there's a couple little bumps there, I guess little scallops, if you will. Okay, and then we have one tiny little red piece that goes on top of that. And the flatter side goes up at the top where the round side is going to point downward. Okay, and just get that nice and centered right there at the top of the little balloon. There we go. Okay, all right, so this piece is done. Put that off to the side. Now let's take a look at the back insert, and this one's pretty straightforward as well, just 3 pieces. This card's going to go together very quick. So let's get our glue on this balloon, and go easy on the glue here, and just try to make sure that you cover as much of it as you can, especially around the perimeter, and then maybe just a few little dots here on the little details. And I'm using, oh, by the way, there's a piece like this, and there's a piece like this with actual tabs on it. You want to apply this to the one with the actual tabs. Okay, so let's pop that right into place. Just make sure you get it accurately lined up. There we go. And that looks good. This piece here is a little backing piece to kind of help this be a little more sturdy so it doesn't wobble around once we actually get it into place, because it is kind of a tall piece. All right, next let's get our glue on the little bunting piece here. And I'm using these little dots here, these little half circles, as well as the little swoosh to help me with the positioning of this piece. There we go. Very simple. And then we're going to add our little red piece right to the top. So get your glue on this little section and just use this little dip here to guide the positioning of this piece. Might help to kind of lift it up. Use your fingers to kind of feel for that edge there. Okay. So that is that for that piece. And then also, as I mentioned, we have this little backing piece which we're going to put right on top of the back of this. And again, that is to kind of make this a little more sturdy. So get your glue I'm going to put glue on this entire section here, all the way up and down, back and forth, as well as onto this little rectangular area. Just like that. We're going to pop that on right there, just like so. Again, it may help to lift it up and use your fingers to kind of feel to make sure that you've got it lined up accurately. And that looks pretty good. And just press that down into place. And there we have our second layer. Okay, now let's take a look at the backmost layer. We've got this piece here. Now, eventually, the tabs on this are going to be coming in this way. And we want to take this blue piece and glue this down. It's going to be completely flush all the way down to the side up until about where the tabs begin. There's a slight little cutout there. So let's get that into place, and then we can put our little clouds onto this piece. Just work that glue out to the perimeter. Try to get as much of that perimeter covered as you can. And just a little bit down the center. Again, this one here, we're going to make sure that it's covering and lining up with the sides as well as the top. There we go. And by the way, that little meow that you heard in the background, that is our little Facebook counter. It means we just gained a new Facebook subscriber. So if you're on Facebook at any point, head on over to Dreaming Tree and hit that like button. Okay, so that's that. Now let's flip this over. On the back of this, we have just a blank sheet, and this is yellow. And we're going to center this, glue it down center so we have a nice even border going all the way around. If it helps you with the centering, tuck those tabs in so that you can kind of get it out of the way and see things better. And this is where you're going to write your message or add your stamp, whatever it is you want to do. Plenty of room for writing. You could even maybe even do a print and cut on this piece and have your machine draw something or whatever it is you want it to do. Okay, and again, just get that nice and centered, nice even border all the way around on the back, and pop that into place. There we go. Okay, back to the front now, and we have two clouds, and there's a series of little markers to help you with the positioning of the clouds. And let me grab a little tool here so I can better point this out. Where did my little dowel go? Well, I lost it. I can use my pencil though. So there's a little, almost like a little check mark that's going to go right in this little crevice where the little poofs of the cloud begin. There's another little V shape there, another little check mark there. You'll get it. Once you lay it down, you'll see exactly where it needs to go. But let's get our cloud in place. Just use those little guides to help you with positioning. There we go, just like that. Okay. And then we've got one smaller cloud. It's going to go right here. Just like that. And we'll get this guy into place. And there we go, just like that. Wonderful. Okay, so 3 sections pretty much done. Let's work on the front of the card. Okay, now we've got this little caption here. It's 2 layers. This is my little glitter, white glitter element. We're going to put some glue on this and adhere it to my red foil piece here in just a second. Try to get some glue on the tiny little details here in the centers of the H, just to make sure that none of that comes peeling off. And just pop that into place like so. Just like that. Press that down, give that a second to set. All right, and the actual front of the card, we have these two little panels that are going to go on the sides of our card. I'm going to get those glued down. Okay, and you just want to simply just make sure that you center this as accurately as you can so that there's a nice border going all the way around. And it's a perfect little opportunity for a little pearl or a rhinestone right there in the center as well, which we will add after the fact. So you'll definitely want to take a look at the photo of the project or even the trailer to see what other little elements we added to the card after all said and done. Okay, so that piece is in place, and here we have this little section. That's going to get glued down right here, right in the center. Nice even border all the way around that as well. So get your glue in place here. Work a little bit of glue into a little area there where we have that little flower motif. Okay, and again, do your best to get that centered as accurately as you can. That's good right there. Wonderful. Okay. Now the actual high and then the little balloon that's going to go here, we're going to pop dot those, so we're going to do that last. We just need to finish putting this balloon together. We have this little piece here for the little basket. So grab your glue, get it on, and let's put the little basket in place right there at the bottom of this blue piece. Just make sure you've got it nicely aligned. I want to pick this up and take a better look at it. Sometimes it gets lost. There's no contrast because of this dark matte. Okay, next we'll take this piece here and get our glue on this. And we'll get that in place. I'm going to pick this one up just so that I can feel the very edges here, make sure that I'm getting it in the right spot. And that looks good. Okay, then we have this orange piece, and that's going to go on next. Just going to do some dots here, like that. And you just want to line up this little point with the little point here in the center of the yellow pattern that we have. Okay. And got a little swoosh element here. We'll get our glue on that. Okay, and I'm using the little dot, the circle in the center, as my guide for placement. I'll pick that up a little bit, nudge it around, make sure it's nice and centered. Okay, and then if you want, let me see if I have, it's kind of a large thing to pop dot, but we'll go ahead and do it anyway. So the little bow on here, I want to pop dot that, but I need some really tiny pop dots. So you can literally cut your foam squares to size. So I literally cut mine into quarters and just peel off the backing, and can pop dot that right in the center there. That looks nice. Add a little bit of dimension to that. And I think it might be a little too much dimension with the pop dot there. So I'm just going to take this little circle and I'm going to glue that down. You can, if you have some thinner pop dots, you could also pop dot the circle but I don't think that's necessary. Okay, so that is that. Now, again, this and the word hi, the caption, those are going to get pop dotted onto the front here, and this is going to kind of sit right there. Okay, but we're going to do that after we actually get the card assembled. So to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to, first off, this little tab that sticks out from the back of the card, that's going to get glued to this section here. So we can begin by simply putting some glue on this tab. Okay, and let's work that glue out to the edge. Let's thin it out a little bit. Okay, and take this piece and get it connected. Just line that up. You can actually go ahead and fold it over onto itself and just make sure that the bottom of this piece here is flush with the bottom of the back of the card. Okay, and then just give that a little press, just like that. And then let's take our glue and put it on this tab. And just work that glue out to the edge. And you should be able to just do this flat. So take the other side of the front and side of the card and simply connect it with that little tab that we just applied our glue to. Again, making sure that you're just keeping in mind that you want the bottom of this to be flush with the bottom of that. I'm just kind of using my finger to feel for that. Okay, should be able to fold it both ways, and then it should stand up on its own like so. Okay, so now it's just a matter of putting our inserts in. We're going to start with the one in the back. Okay, so what do we got here? That's going to go inside here, and those two tabs are going to be facing towards the back, and they're going to be glued to the sides. So you can see that tab there and this tab here. We're going to put glue on the outside of the tabs. Then we're going to push them up against the inner walls. Okay, so go ahead and get your glue. Let's just do both sides real quick. It won't take long. Get glue on both tabs. And it's okay if you go a little bit heavier this time. Okay, and then just slide it in. Actually, pull the tabs in a little bit as you're pushing this down into its spot. Okay, make sure it's resting on the table. Grab those tabs, push them out against, and I'm gonna grab a dowel here. And take your dowel and push up against the side wall there, but make sure that it in fact is all the way up against the back, so that these two tabs should be touching the back wall of the card. Okay, and once you kind of have it in place, you can fold it so that it, see, I didn't have it all the way down here. There we go. And you can fold it to help with the gluing. And you should be able to fold it both ways. Okay, and you can see how those tabs, this tab here and this tab here, are nice and up against the inner wall and holding very well. Okay, so now take this one. We're gonna do the same thing, except this time when we put it in, we're gonna push it up as far forward as it'll go, so that this part of the tab is actually touching the face of our actual card structure. Okay, so just like we did before, just get some glue on those tabs. The tabs are coming towards you this time, not away from you. Okay, just kind of tuck them in a little bit and just drop it in there so that it's actually making contact with your table, and then bring it forward and push those tabs up against those walls. Okay, make sure it's nice and flush all the way down, and check the bottom. Make sure that the bottom is in fact also touching the front of the card, and then to help with the gluing, you can simply just press it down like this, and then also go back the other way and press that down, and There we go. Okay, so they're both in place. You can see all the layers and the sides are in place. This one kind of scooted back just a touch, but that's okay. That looks good. Okay, all right, so there's that, and then all that's left to do is take this balloon, we're gonna flip it over, and I'm gonna grab some foam squares. We're gonna apply some foam squares to this piece. Maybe we'll just do 2 up here. Let's do 1 in the center, and then maybe 1 on the basket. That should be good. I think that'll hold. Take your backings off, and then you simply want to lay this down so that it matches up with the existing green section of the card. You want to make sure that it's straight up and down. Let's take a look here. How are we doing? How are we doing? So far, so good, I think. Yep. That looks good. Might be a smidge off. Cool thing about these foam squares is as long as you don't push down too hard, you can certainly make some adjustments. Pardon my head here for a second. There we go. Okay. So there's that. And then finally, we'll take our little caption, the word hi, add maybe 2 or 3 little foam squares on the back of that, and get that into position onto the front of the card. Make sure you don't put it on upside down. And that is going to go right about here. I'm going to make sure that it's completely on the, in my case, the little vanilla color. Okay, there you go. Nice, beautiful, vibrant, colorful card ready to go. And no card from Dreaming Tree would be complete without a coordinating envelope. Of course, you know, you can mail this flat. That's the cool thing about box cards. So let's take a look at the envelope real quick. It's 2 pieces, well, 3 if you count the little bonus flap piece that we have here, and that's just to kind of pretty it up even more. So let's get the flap in place, and we're going to put glue on the actual flap itself, because if we were to put glue on the blue piece, we may inadvertently get some in an area that will be showing through that little cutout. So just work that glue around this little element here. And then what I usually do is I'll just take this, kind of nudge it up to the score mark, make sure it's centered, and then just pull that down and push that down into place. It's a good way to get it exactly where you want it. Okay, so there's our beautiful flap. And now all that's left to do is put the face of the envelope together. Now these are always a little bit oversized because when this thing folds, it doesn't fold at this dimension. It actually makes it a little bit wider, but that's okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to take, oh geez, I got glue on this accidentally. That's what I get. I gotta clean that off there before I make a bigger mess. That's okay. No one's going to see that part anyway. It's inside. Okay. So we're going to actually take this and we're going to anchor it to the bottom. So go ahead and get your glue. It's kind of awkward. Get your glue on this section here. Okay, and just kind of spread it nice and thin. And just get that nice and aligned, nice and centered. Right onto this piece here, that tab. Lay it down, press down. Give that a few seconds to set. And then we'll simply wrap it up by putting glue on the 2 vertical tabs to close it up, and that will complete the process. Okay, so get your glue onto the remaining 2 tabs. And I feel like I'm going to be running out of time here on my video. I record in 30-minute increments. I can just feel the clock winding down here, so hopefully that doesn't happen. Okay, spreading that glue out to the very edge. And then just take this section here and close it up. It should pretty much just fall into place, especially if you got the bottom part nice and anchored. Just continue to apply pressure to that. Okay, there's your beautiful envelope. Nice coordinating envelope to go with it. And that is it for this project. So definitely take a look at the final photos and video, the trailer, to see where we added some additional bling. And if you enjoyed this process, please take a moment and head over to our YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button, and while you're there, hit the little bell so that you get notifications anytime we release a new video, whether it be a paid or free video or even our educational videos. And if you make this or the beautiful balloon or the little candy cart, we'd love to see it. So head on over to your Facebook and do a search for Dreaming Tree Group, where you can join myself and the 20,000 plus other dreamers that inspire us daily. So thank you so much for joining me. Keep your eyes to the skies. Hopefully we see some balloons this year. And as always, I look forward to crafting with you again.